stocks that are really important to futures traders, and I think two stocks that a lot of traders are very interested in are Apple and Tesla. And the reason they're important for futures traders is they're weighting, for example, Tesla in the NASDAQ and in the S&P, and Apple's weighting within the NASDAQ and the S&P. And when you have heavily weighted stocks like Apple, like Tesla in the futures contracts, a lot of their direction is going to dictate to some degree where the futures are going. So remember, we start talking about Tesla and Apple. The futures traders out there should be thinking ES futures and NQ futures. And then my stock traders watching this video, well, I know a lot of folks are interested in when can we buy Apple, or even when can we buy Tesla. So the first answer is we have to start with market structure. And Tesla is in a heck of a downtrend. It has been on the daily time frame since easily the 7th or the 10th of October. Heck, it's in a downtrend on the weekly as well. So very weak in terms of Tesla. I know there's a huge, temptation to figure, well, how much lower could Tesla go? We don't want to play that game in a downtrend, gang. What we want to remember is we can short Tesla off resistance. Couple interesting places to note. We hit the upper end of the daily price movement ranges. That's something to keep an eye on. Or we can simply just focus on the 5-minute chart of Tesla and just day trade it, right? If we don't feel comfortable shorting Tesla at lows, I'm not, and we don't have a high from which we can get long puts on the daily, we're not there now, what can we do in the meanwhile? We can look for opportunities intraday. The second symbol, Apple. Apple is very important. Obviously, high concentration weighting makes Apple important in the S&P, the NASDAQ, and in the XLK. The XLK is the king of the sectors. Why? It's heavily weighted in the NAS, it's heavily weighted in the S&P, and it's heavily weighted in the Dow. So it's one of those sectors that transcends just being tech, and it can influence all of the big three indices. So again, very important to futures traders, very important to stock traders to understand that connection. All right, Apple and Microsoft are the two heaviest weighted stocks in XLK and two of the heavy weighted stocks in the S&P and the NASDAQ, right? And what do we have in Apple? Weekly downtrend, daily downtrend. And while not as established as Tesla, it's still a downtrend. So I have to think about the upper end of the daily price movement range, or simply day trade Apple, right? Simply day trade Apple. And I cannot be picking bottoms on the weekly either. So I would highly recommend, if you want to actively trade Apple, my preference is the 5-minute. And if you're looking for a daily trade on Apple, short the daily price movement range, right? You can see here about the $130 mark. And in the meanwhile, if you're thinking, can I get long Apple? Not yet, gang. This is still very much a downtrend. There are transitions in the trend and patterns we can look for, but we're not there yet. And then I really have to then emphasize, are we doing our due diligence as traders, whether that be futures traders or stock traders or ETF traders, and asking ourselves, where is the best structure? The best structure is going to start off with a symbol that is at least above the 200 propulsion, like Cisco is in the XLK, or AVGO. That's your best look at strength in the XLK. What about cracking open the NASDAQ and doing something similar, right? If I take a look at the NASDAQ, where is there strength within this symbol? Well, there's AVGO again, right? What about neutral markets? If that's about as good as it gets, do we have neutral markets? What's really interesting is we have Pepsi here. A lot of folks don't think about Pepsi as being a NASDAQ stock. And again, when you have the fluency to go in and out of these sectors and to go in and out of the indices and the individual stocks, your watch list becomes healthier because now you're truly able to find best in breed, right? Now, if Pepsi gets our attention, I'm going to think XLP. And if XLP has my attention, Procter & Gamble, Clorox, Philip Morris, and Coke are the four symbols that look better than the XLP and frankly could be ways to get long in this environment on a reversion to the mean, a dip, however you want to call it, right? A retracement to the 34 EMA wave. All right, gang, that's what I've got to kick off this first trading day of 2023. Not a pretty one. We have a very busy calendar. Please check out the calendar. Tomorrow, we have FOMC meeting minutes, non-farm payroll on Friday. A lot coming at us, fast and furious here this first week. Be good to each other. I'll see you in Charts and Coffee, 9 a.m. at the Simpler Trading YouTube channel. And in the meanwhile, let's manage risk together, and I'll see you in the next update. Hey traders, Raghee from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.